is my graphic novel haul for this week. I went a bit. I'd say this is kind of like part one. I'll explain in a bit. So there's quite a few good bargains on eBay. So yeah, I got a few. So I'm just going to show you what I got. And there's a little toy as well that I got, which I got today. So I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so first up, it came in the post today. Well, when I said it came in the post, it got dumped in my bin, my rubbish bin or waste bin if you're American, by the lovely Royal Mail. So yes, I did send a very snotty email back to them. They literally just dumped it in the bin, didn't say where they left it. I was looking all over, and fortunately, the last resort, I'll just try the bits, but I thought surely they won't leave it in the bin because they're not allowed to. It's like I think it's a very serious offence to do that, but there it was. So anyway, I got this for £13, and this is Doomsday Clock. Yes, I know, heresy. Me buying a book that builds on the story from Alan Moore's Watchmen, but it's Gary Frank, it's Jeff Johns, and it's £13. And when I have read it, I will give a review. It's going to be a while off because I've got a fuckload of books to read. But yeah, it looks gorgeous. Saying it's going to be a while off, I mean, the art is kind of tempting me. So yeah, this came today, just £13. That's the back cover. So if you don't know, this basically brings the world of the universe of the Watchmen into the DC universe, and I think this is what created Rebirth as well. And after that, we have. I didn't even realize this had come out until I just did like a random check. This one I did get from Amazon because I couldn't see it elsewhere. And which is unusual for Amazon, it actually came shrink wrapped, so it didn't arrive bashed or damaged. Normally with Amazon, I just order hardback books because they're normally shrink wrapped anyway. But yeah, so if you want to order it and you can't find it anywhere else, Amazon do have it shrink wrapped. So this is Jim Starlin's Dreadstar Omnibus Volume 2. This one is one I am most anticipated to read more than Volume 1, which I've nearly finished, because Volume 1 only has 8 issues of the Epic Colour series. And I've got to be honest, the first 2/4, 2/3 maybe, of the book mainly has the stuff leading up to the formation of Dreadstar as we know it. So there's in the first chunk of the Dreadstar Volume 1, there's a lot of repetition because it's got like these 3 or 4 different graphic novels, which kind of like repeat the same story and it goes back into the origin bit. But each one is slightly different, so it's a bit of a head fuck. I wish they'd just started with the Colour series, but it is what it is. But this is just the really good Epic Comics Colour series what they had in the 80s. So Dreadstar Volume 1 is what I'm reading at the moment. So I've just got 6 issues left to read on it. So this one contains issue 9 through to 24 and the short story Messiah, along with bonus material. So it's got covers. Yeah, beautiful. So I'm very happy about that. Dreadstar's one of my favourite comic series of all time, basically. And of course, I had to pick up DC Finest, Batman Blind Justice. I've got all the Batman titles. The only Batman titles I'm not going to get will be the Golden Age ones because it doesn't interest me a lot of Golden Age stuff. But this definitely. This was the one that came on the strength of the Batman '89 movie when that was released. That's where this cover comes from. On the back of the Batman '89 film, they did three issues, which were like I think like 80-page giants, which were written by Sam Hamm, who's the script writer for the Batman film, and art by one of my favourites, Dennis Cowan, with inks by Dick Giuliano and Frank McLaughlin. And I really, really enjoyed this story when it first came out, so it'll be a pleasure to read it again. Oh my God, what, 35, 37 years later? But of course, it doesn't just have that. But this does, because of being really thick issues, it takes up a chunk of the book. And then there's this little tributes because it's like the anniversary. They're really going big on celebrate because the film obviously was like that was like the biggest superhero film since the first Superman film. And then this is what I forgot about with the Secret Origins series. What DC did for a comic that should really be a throwaway comic, they had amazing creative teams on these origin stories. Like on this Batman backstory, you've got Kevin Nolan doing the artwork. And it's by Jan Strnad doing the writing, who did Dow Goda and quite a bit of stuff with Richard Corbin. But beautiful. I forgot all about this story. And then move on to Batman. I forgot that because James Owsley is one of the many names what Christopher Priest, or Priest as he sometimes calls himself, used back in the day. With obviously beautiful, gorgeous Jim Aparo artwork, who I did not appreciate, but when he first came out, I was used to like the gritty artist, but now he's quite possibly one of my top 3 Batman artists. And then there's the Batman Annual, which is again by Christopher Priest, art by Michael Burr, with inks by, this surprised me, and again, this is another artist I never really appreciated back then because he's one of the old school, and I hated old school artists when I was young. But so you've got Michael Burr, who did the Catwoman miniseries before it became an ongoing series back in the 90s. But Gray Murray did like loads of Western stuff, loads of like stuff in like the anthology titles in DC. And like I said, I really hated him back in the 70s and 80s. But now, looking at this now with fresh eyes, I love his inky style. Very almost like um, Bill Sienkiewicz. Sienkiewicz. But yeah, that looks really good. He teams very well with Michael Burr. And then we've got the start of that. I remember this series very well. So, The Many Deaths of the Batman. So, John Byrne writing, and that splash page is just wonderful. How could I think that Jim Aparo was average when I was young? Yeah, so Jim Aparo doing the artwork with Dan DiCarlo on inks. So there's a lot of big hitters in storylines in this. And then, of course, making a big name for himself around this time as a hot new Batman artist, which is crazy because he's like one of the old guard now, and sadly he has passed away, is Noam Breyfogle with Alan Grant writing, who became like one of the definitive Batman writers of this time. Gorgeous, gorgeous. What again? Another amazing Batman artist. Jason Blood, the Demon. Oh, look at that page. And remember this. Sorry, storyline. The annual's really good for this. So you have Mark Waid doing the writing, and with Brian Augustyn and Balsam X and Michael Bear on the art. So yeah, lots of good stuff. And there's some back filler. Doing much more back matter in these DC fans now, which is nice to see. So yeah, another one I'm looking forward to reading. I'm currently reading The Red Rain. Is it Red Rain or what's it called? Red Skies, DC Finest, along with Dreadstar. I normally have about 3 or 4 graphic novels on the go. This is one that I'm going to be reading soon. This is Cyberpunk 2077. I did an overview of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the manga, and I did read the first 2 issues of this digitally years ago. So I saw this for a good price. Thought I'll snap it up. It's got beautiful, beautiful art. It's got different writers and artists on it, but the creative team behind the Cyberpunk 2077 video game oversee the whole universe. They've mapped it all out, and they oversee you forget you're reading a comic based on a game, and it becomes its own thing. For me, the way I would sum this up, it reads more like, the Blade Runner comics. This one appeals to me more because it feels like Blade Runner on ketamine or Ghost in the Shell on acid. It's like really, really amped up and ramped up. So the action's a lot more fast, a lot more tongue-in-cheek in places as well, a lot more brutal. I am tempted to get the Blade Runner comics as well, but this one just holds me interest a bit more. And the art, again, I just love the art style in it, and the colours are really vibrant. And you do get quite a bit of back matter. You got alternate covers, poster designs, layouts, character sketches, etc. So yeah, really good value for money. That one is $29.99. There is a volume 2, which they call the Library Edition, which is a hardback, but they're doing an omnibus volume 2 softback in December, I think it is. And one that I saw on the top books of 2026 so far on the Matt, and that's Matt with how many T's at the end of his name, I forget, but on his channel, he's got 2 channels. He's got one where he does these big documentaries, and he's got like some more personal channel where he does like smaller things, and he's on that one. It's a Spanish artist creator called Jordi Lefebvre. I think he's Spanish, it could be French. I Am Their Silence. It's a Barcelona, Spanish. It's a Barcelona murder mystery. And again, I got this from eBay because I was just lazily looking at it on eBay, and they had it for £7. So I'll snap that up. It's a hardback. It normally retails for $24.99. So I made a huge saving. Nice hardcover. And it says, Eva is a brilliant psychiatrist, but this is no simple story of a clever shrink helping a patient dissect their problems. No, this is the story about Eva in the throes of a bipolar episode, navigating her own spiraling mental health as she's pulled down a scandalous rabbit hole when one of her first patients and only friends has invited her to the reading of her grandmother's living will. So it's a classic like whodunit murder mystery. It's about 110 pages, or just a bit over. The art, I love European comics. The art is always really special. They just do comics a bit extra, a bit more special than American comics. And it's complete in itself. This is one that you can like read in between like your big volumes, what you're going through. And the stories are always a bit more sophisticated as well, a bit more fun. They're not tied down to genres or got to have superheroes. You've got to have a huge backstory. It's got to have all this history and baggage on a character. It's just unique, one and done. And if it's successful, they might do another story later on. And with the reason why European comics are of a higher quality than American ones, they're allowed to cook. They're allowed to take the time to create the book. So some of the books that you see from Europe, like with Cinebooks who release them quite regularly, they'll do just a book a year. Like with Blacksad, it's normally a book a year, sometimes even more. And so it's something that you look forward to. It's like if you're buying a novel. And so they can take the time to make it a bit more high quality and more of a special event. So I love that about that. And I did get something else. It's not something I picked up today when I was just doing a non-comic shop. And I got this. I'll put it on here because it will show up better. I got the classic 1960s TV version of the Batmobile. It came boxed, but I want it out of the box because I'm going to have it on display with a little, almost like a fake lead Adam West Batman. I do want to get the Ghostbusters Exomobile and the Back to the Future DeLorean, and that'll be it for my car collection. Maybe get some Jerry Anderson ones, but got to start off with the original and the best. So yeah, very happy with that. So it has nothing to do with comics, but it is kind of like comic universe related. There is going to be a big unboxing. By big unboxing, I mean it's going to be a big box, I think. I had a really good deal from eBay where they gave me a voucher with a very, very generous amount off if I spent a certain amount. So when I used the voucher, I saved a shitload of money. So I've got 6 graphic novels coming from Speedy Hen, and it'll be interesting to see how they pack it because I've been impressed so far with them. And I ordered it on Friday night, and it's coming on Monday, so that's really quick turnaround. So that's something to look forward to during the week. Now, tomorrow, this is why I'm filming just this one today. It's just like your basic haul video. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing one, two, I think about 3 or 4 single issue comic reviews because there's a few number ones and like special one shots that came out this week. So I'll hopefully film those tomorrow and I will be in front of the camera. Today, I'm not doing that. Today, I'm going to be spending it reading comics. I didn't read anything yesterday. It was just way too hot. I felt really uncomfortable. So I watched Peacemaker season 2, which I loved. But I'm going to read today, and tomorrow it's going to be cooler. I think it's going to rain as well, so I'll be able to breathe and be more like myself tomorrow. But today I've just been a sweaty mess. But you don't need to know that. But yeah, so there's going to be 4 hopefully review videos tomorrow. So hope you look forward to seeing those tomorrow. And of course, I'm going to be cheesy like a lot of the American comics YouTubers say, like and subscribe and tell your friends. I don't do that. I hate promoting myself. But I'm cringing right now. It's made me go red that I just don't like putting myself out there. But if you do like my videos, leave comments. And like I said, do subscribe. It does help. I'm a little tiny little YouTuber. Um, and every little follow helps. I don't get any money from it. I doubt if he ever will. But it's just nice to, I like to use it more as a community. And I am waffling now. So I'm going to go and say bye-bye. Or as Geeky Hog would say, adieu, but I'm not a Geeky Hog, so I'm just going to say, see ya.